Well, welcome all to another episode of the Basati Partner Spotlight. For this month, we have one of our newer partners, but one that I'm actually pretty excited about. We've seen a lot of great success with them already, a lot of use cases to take Salesforce to the next level, and a lot of ways that you can use their unique solution, PrintSF, to get in the door, to build relationships, to firm up relationships. Just really, really exciting, all the different use cases, and we'll talk about some of those during the conversation today. With me, I have Tim Mulligan, Director of Biz Dev over there. We're fortunate to have Mark Serra. Mark is the president and co-founder of PrintSF, and so we're fortunate to have both of them today. Welcome, gentlemen, to our Partner Spotlight.
Thank you, Tim.
Hello.
So what we want to talk about today is we always start around user adoption, mainly because that's the biggest thing you hear. It's still one of the biggest questions when people ask, what's going on with your Salesforce org? What's going on with your instance? How are your people using it? And the biggest challenge people have is user adoption. So how have you guys seen user adoption increase, or some unique tips to help increase that adoption?
We're seeing Salesforce evolve from a system of record for sales to track opportunities essentially and follow up in typical CRM to really become more of a coach that guides them to strategic next steps and communications. We're seeing tools like Pardot Engage now start to empower sales with real-time engagement, so they're connecting with prospects at the right time and to increase their connect rates. So those kinds of tools, Pardot Engage and others, are adding more value for sales teams and driving more adoption. On the PrintSF side, similar, we empower sales to follow up based on real-time delivery tracking, so that they're often connecting just after the prospect or customer has a gift or another communication in hand, or is popping a caramel in their mouth. So I think that in terms of adoption, we're seeing these kinds of tools in effect making cold calling a thing of the past and replacing that with responding in real time to live prospect and engagement. That makes the day of the life of a salesperson more rewarding and drives adoption, as we're seeing.
Okay, that's fantastic. Can you just give us a high level, because you talked about caramels, and give us a highlight of PrintSF. What's that elevator pitch you normally use?
Direct mail, collateral, and gifts is easy as email. We make the process of putting your brand in hand as easy as doing digital marketing automation. And as we all know, the digital channel's gotten pretty noisy and pretty cluttered. So what's old is new, and the ability to put physical, tactile communications or tasty treats in the customer or prospect's hands is what we're all about.
And so we're going old school to be new. Is that kind of...
I think it is. I mean, it's old school in the sense that direct mail and physical marketing is obviously since, in effect, the beginning of time, but that process has traditionally been non-automated for companies that do it, and quite a few do. Roughly half companies use direct mail. The process has traditionally started in Salesforce by hitting the export button, and everything that happens thereafter is disconnected, nearly impossible to track or measure, and very time-consuming and inefficient. So, by taking something that's old and marrying it with Salesforce and making it as easy and automated as digital marketing, yeah, that is in effect making something old new again.
And so, and we talked a little bit before we got started about our ages, which we will not disclose to the general listening public. But how many of us remember you finished appointments, you finished calls, and you stopped and wrote a handwritten note? Didn't we all do that?
We used to, and we still see articles and studies that say it's highly effective. I think we've just become so busy and so mobile that those kinds of high-touch practices have faded away. We saw over the last 5, 6, 7 years, especially with the recession setting in and the downsizing of marketing budgets. We saw this movement and push towards an exclusive focus on email marketing and social media, but that's a very, very noisy space. So to your point, what's old is new, and we're seeing a definite reemergence of interest and commitment in the Salesforce community to tactile marketing as part of the mix.
Right. So if I'm a sales guy and I know that that's the right thing to do, I know that if I hear about a new baby, for example, being born, or a particular award that someone received, and in the past I would stop, hopefully, get out a note, or at best ask my assistant or sales support person, hey, can you send a little gift, or can you send a flower, or whatever. All that, like you said, takes a lot of time. We're so busy and we're slammed, and we tend to push all that to the side. So what you're saying is by using PrintSF, I can still do the right thing, do what we've all been taught to do, but do it with ease.
That's exactly correct, and even to the point where you might not have to do anything. The entire process can be trigger driven. So if it's a thank you for meeting with me, be it online or in person, or if it's thank you for your trust in engaging with us, those kinds of personalized touches can be fully triggered from Salesforce in any variety of ways.
So even I know I want to send a thank you, and I log an activity as initial presentation. I can send out well, I don't have to send anything. Like you're saying, that just because I logged my activity, which we all should be doing, I logged my activity in Salesforce, then that thank you note that I would normally handwrite is going to be sent anyway.
That's correct, and I know that your team, Tim, is more than handy enough with process builder or workflow rules to monitor the logging of that task or the closing of that opportunity, and build a trigger to put that print communication in process.
So let's talk about real quick, and we're going totally off what we planned ahead of time, which is good, and I think we're going to do just fine this way. But so we talk about cost, right? I mean, time is cost, and not doing it is a cost. But it's something as simple as a note, or even a bag of caramels, Starbucks. I know there's so many different things that you guys can do. But what are we talking price range? Let's say
simple communications like a greeting card with a first-class stamp on it, $1.50 out the door, delivered, tracked to delivery, and less than that if there's volume or scale for a customer. So $1.50 for an in-hand communication, less than you'd pay down at the Hallmark store, doing it all by hand. On the gift side of things, you can have a greeting card with a Starbucks card, $5 Starbucks card inside, track to delivery for $10, or you can have a box with caramels in it, track to delivery inclusive of shipping for $15. So there's a range of items for different use cases at different cost points,
sure.
But all in all, very, very inexpensive given the results that it produces.
And I gotta say, I feel like sending myself thank you cards or thank you boxes with those chocolates or the caramels, because they are some of the most amazing candies I've ever eaten.
I agree. I've never knew about handcrafted salted caramels until we started including these in our gift mix, and we have a serious addiction around our household on them.
I would imagine. I would imagine. So again, my time is worth $1.50. My time is worth $20 if I don't have to stop, write out a card, and the fact that I also don't have to forget because it's in Salesforce, so it's all going to happen automatically for me. I could go and select. I mean, I know we have it where people can select different things based on the particular item, and I believe we can set up rules, and budgets, and so forth for different folks or users or groups of users. Correct?
Correct. There's a number of different controls. You can limit either per user or per Salesforce user profile, monthly or quarterly spends. You can decide who sees which gifts or templates, so different groups can have access to the appropriate materials. So there's a number of controls in there that, and of course you've got at a management level, at sales ops or marketing management, you've got real-time reports and dashboards that give you total visibility on everything that's going on.
So I truly could see either A, the total cost to get a particular contract, or B, the steps along the way, or A and B, I should say, the steps along the way that led to them saying yes, or could have contributed to them saying yes. And a $20 box of caramels in order to get a $500, $500,000 project is very minimal.
It's very minimal, and one of the most common use cases we see is using cards or gifts to turn a cold call into a warm call. Tim often is making an introduction on LinkedIn or by email, or leaving that first voicemail to just set the stage, but cannot achieve a live connect. And then he follows with a $15 box of caramels, sits back and waits for a task for him to follow up to be triggered based on delivery. And he will often catch those folks with the box of caramels on their desk that day, and the resulting lift in connect rate is really quite extraordinary. So even to just increase your connect rate and be having more conversations with less effort is a big source of ROI as well.
I know it's a figure of speech, but having Tim sit back and wait for anything after knowing him for over a year doesn't seem likely. He's probably sending more boxes and bugging more people, or excuse me, reaching more people on LinkedIn. So very persistent, very fantastic use of your product in order to get in the door here. And so,
Tim, if there's any doubt, you can just look at my dashboards and see my activity.
exactly. So I love that. So tell me, that's a great new use case that I hadn't thought of. Turn a cold call into a warm, willing to talk to you, and then from there, who knows what can happen, right? So what are some of the other unique use cases that you've seen for this particular solution?
So the use case we just talked about, we would classify in the prospecting bucket, turning that cold call into a warm call. The other use cases would be opportunities gone dark, someone that you've begun the process with, but you're a month or two in and you're not hearing much for them, so you send something out and follow up based on delivery. Some of the most frequent use cases we see, though, are along the lines of customer retention. Salesforce's new motto, of course, is we help you love your customers. And in an environment where people are a subscription economy, where everyone's on annual contracts, you can't just close it and sit back and send a couple of emails a year. So many of our customers are implementing a series of value-added retention touches post-closing. Could be informational, getting information on upgrades or new product releases in hands, but most often it's saying happy birthday, it's saying happy holidays, it's saying happy anniversary approaching, let's connect as your renewal is coming up. So those are some other common use cases. And lastly, service communications. We have nonprofits sending out gift receipt letters for all their donations as required by law. We have healthcare companies using print to drive enrollment. So really any use case where the customer would put something physical in the hands can be automated from Salesforce.
That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic, and my mind is now spinning with a lot of other ideas for ourselves and for some of our clients in particular. So tell me, I've got a question here about having a partner like Basati working with the implementation. What are some of the particular reasons for that? I mean, it's a simple tool, but how can a partner best help set that up and utilize it?
Well, I think in all things Salesforce, you want to build it right the first time. There's the old saying, if you don't have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it over? And if you don't have the budget to do it right, when we have the budget to do it over. So the value of having Basati involved in your PrintSF deployment in particular is Basati knows your data, knows your workflows, knows your processes, and they're going to be in a position to most quickly and efficiently add print and tactile marketing with PrintSF to your Salesforce instance and your processes in the shortest time.
Okay, that's fantastic. I love that. They're right because that partner, preferably us, is already going to know your process, like you said, and could even point out, hey, are you sending a direct mail? Are you sending a thank you? Are you sending a flyer? Are you sending this? Are you putting things in their hands? If so, let's automate it. Let's save your guys time, make them more efficient, and help them close more deals, which is what the reason they moved to Salesforce in the first place, most likely. Huh.
Absolutely, and if Basati's assisting with a Pardot deployment along Salesforce and is helping with drip or nurture campaigns or starting to use Pardot Studio, Basati is going to know how to integrate those print touches most
Right.
seamlessly with the existing structure that's been built.
And
All right.
Tim, I've already alluded to the fact that we are presenting all of this in real time with native dashboards. So imagine Basati's created the closed loop process. Ultimately, it has to prove itself financially, and that can be seen at a high level with campaign influence, ROI, A/B testing, so that management knows its effect on the opportunities and relationships.
And it's all, as far as the interface, is all Salesforce native, so we can make things happen. We can help set it up and customize, and then it gets pushed to you to deliver.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. We often ask, and I appreciate the time today, we also often ask before we go about a particular hack or tip or trick. We love Salesforce, but not just for sales. Our big philosophy is Salesforce as a strategy. It should be part of all of your business, not just the sales side. And so we love to hear about tips, tricks, CRM hacks, we call them, either for your solution or something else that you noticed or you guys just really fell in love with, almost couldn't do without in the Salesforce space. And so to do that, we're going to turn over presenting to
Mark.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll turn that over to Mark, and Mark will take it and run, and then we'll have a wrap-up after that. So Mark, what can you not live without?
Well, we used to live without it, but since it's come into being, now we don't feel we can. One of the biggest breakthroughs for us was when Salesforce came out with Process Builder. We love it. And not just Process Builder, but then Process Builder in combination with the ability to package up some processes we build for customers and pass them to the customer ready-made for installation as an unmanaged package. We used to spend a lot of time, if we wanted to help build an automation for a customer, to trigger a sales rep call upon direct mail delivery, for example. We had to get in the GoToMeeting with the customer, make sure that it was a customer with admin rights, and build all those sorts of things live in those meetings, which was a bit painful. Now with Process Builder, we're able to design complex automations tailor-made to customers and then package them. The example I have on my screen is a workflow or a process flow which evaluates our mailer history object, where each piece of mail and its delivery tracking are recorded, and then upon status change to delivery, it is setting actions relative to follow-up or triggered emails, etc., on a contact or relative to a converted lead or relative to a lead. We can build all that up front in advance and then package it up as an unmanaged package so we can make further refinements on the customer side and pass that to installation for the customer. So when we do jump into that GoToMeeting, we're 2 hours ahead of where we were prior. So we love process flow, and we love the ability to package it in unmanaged packages to get a real running start with customers on automations.
That is excellent. Thank you for that. And those of you out there that are listening that you keep hearing about Process Builder, and you haven't looked at it yet, and there's still a lot out there. There's still at least half of the Salesforce world that hasn't even begun to look at Process Builder because they're confused, they're concerned it might be too much. It isn't. You've got to use it. Everybody that uses it gets excited about it, thinks it's fantastic. I can't wait to figure out other things that they can automate. And this is an admin, not a dev, not a consultant. This is an admin that can do these things. So take a look at those. Thanks, Mark, for that. Mark, Tim, we certainly appreciate all the time today. The great use cases for this excellent product that, like I said, is not something that we've used for very long, but thanks to Tim's diligence in chasing us down and sending these at a strategic time and getting me hooked on the chocolates, or the caramels, then we are proud and just really excited about using PrintSF and getting it out to all of our clients. And if you have any questions on it, please give us a buzz. There'll be a link with our name, phone number, and all that good stuff that you can reach us, of course. Tim, Mark, thanks, guys, for joining us today. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you, Tim. It was a pleasure.